This ain't your daddy's slasher, though the odds dictate that if your dad lives in that town, he's probably a slasher. Oh, you know what you did. I mean, I don't want to say it, but you know what you did here. You know exactly which beloved British film you ripped the fuck out of with this film. And I'm not going to say it just in case it's a spoiler for people, but if you've seen it, you know what they did, and they are cheeky bastards for it. Clown in a Cornfield is about a group of teenagers who spend a Founder's Day. What is up with all these bullshit American holidays, man? Anyway, they spend a Founder's Day running from Friendo, the clown who is the town mascot for their local syrup factory, which recently burned down, and he's also the character that these teenagers have been using in their YouTube channel as like a horror icon, like a what if he was actually scary kind of thing. And then he starts killing them off. It feels like that's a lot of backstory to cram in, but just roll with it in that first act. They get through it fairly quickly, to be fair to them. My favourite thing is how many of the problems these teenagers have would genuinely be solved if they just knew how to do basic things, like drive a manual car or use a rotary phone. Bloody Americans. Anyway, it's a film that doesn't take itself that seriously. It's got some funny moments to it. My problem is that I feel like the trailer was lying big time, and it was a trailer. It was heavily marketed for a horror film. I feel like it was really shoved in my face, the trailer, quite a lot coming up to the release of this, and then I saw the film, and every moment, basically, that's in the film that is, like, funny or not taking itself seriously was in the trailer. Like, it does, the majority of the time, feel like it's taking itself relatively seriously. So, yeah, and I feel like I was sold a bill of goods from the words the director of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Like, I was expecting full wackiness. I was expecting to go in and get Scary Movie levels of parody and humor, and I didn't even get as much as in Scream, you know? Like, it's just lacking a certain something there. I don't feel like I've been as lied to about genre in a film since Longlegs. Some of the exclamations from the characters and things like that as they're being chased around are funny. The kid being like, oh my gosh, it's Friendo, and then getting shot in the head with crossbow bolts. Amusing. The girl, like, saying, oh, girl, it's bad, when there's a pitchfork through her friend. Like, it does have its moments, don't get me wrong. It just, a lot of the time, feels a bit like if there was a Disney Channel original movie about a clown slasher, you know? Like, a lot of the writing, especially near the end, just suddenly nosedived a bit for me and was like, really? Are they being serious with this? And I just felt like it got worse as it went on. You couldn't have guessed the major twist, which I didn't like, by the way. You couldn't have guessed that twist from the trailer, but you could guess it from the first act, really. And I almost, like, outwitted myself. I almost thought, like, but it can't, that's not going to be the twist, because that'd be so basic, so dull, so run-of-the-mill, and then it was that, and it's just like, right. And that kind of, yeah, I was left feeling like there was still some promise in the film at the end of the second act, which the third act really didn't live up to. Even the first act, like the first act, I was kind of going like, oh, and then the second act, I was going, nah. And then the third act, I was just like, oh. So yeah, a lot of it just felt like it was very toned down for no real reason. Obviously, the gay angle was very fun. Really enjoyed those characters. That was nice. But I don't know. I felt like the kids doing their YouTube videos about Friendo was going to like lead more into it later. It gave us one good moment, and apart from that, it felt like it was just a red herring thrown in early on to give us some kind of ooh moments and like scary things happening before that weren't actually scary things, you know, so that they had something to do in the first act, because it's such a once the shit hits the fan, it really hits the fan film, but that means the first act you have to like build up the tension and do stuff, and they didn't really do that so much. Overall, it does have its moments, it is quite fun at times, but I just felt like there was a lot of promise here that fell surprisingly flat for me. I went in expecting to like this, so it had to do a little extra work for me to come out feeling, And it's not terrible at all, but it was never threatening to be overly good for me or really awful. It just felt like for something that looked so alive and quirky and different, it really managed to end up feeling shockingly run-of-the-mill. So I'm pretty sure none of the people in this are trained clowns, 2.5 stars. Just stop all of this stealing of clown roles by not professionally trained clowns. Clown World is getting robbed. It's got all this popularity going on and it's making no use of it. There isn't even anyone juggling in this film. Subscribe.